Greetings to all. I'm gonna get straight into it. What hasn't been said about the Blue Bomber, right? He's charming, a beloved icon of the Capcom franchise, the face of the company during time to the unfortunate case of being put into a waste bin. Now suffering from being a fan and begging Capcom to give us another title to the entries of 2020. For the love of God! Please! At least hope is not all forgotten, as we still have the Legacy Collection for most of the title series, be it the Classic Series, the X Series, the Zero Series, and the Battle Network Series. All that will have is eventual time to shine on the channel. I hope. Now, I have a strong love for the Blue Bomber. For me, I am most familiar with the X Series that pushes for the edge of a new change from the wholesome and quirky nature of the Classic Series. I will be showing you footage from Mega Man X Legacy Collection that will split into two volumes, Volume 1 that contains X1 through X4, and Volume 2 that contains X5 through X8, the dark child of the series. Feels a bit disrespectful, you ask me, knowing how people feel about those sequels again, as I am a man with a general bad taste in games, find them amusing to play through. Honestly, I have a lot to say about the series through its occasion and its bad rhyme that could have been better, the decline of gameplay shakeup as we slowly transition into the era of 3D of the early 2000s, the nonsensical magic of the early 90s voice acting.
What am I fighting for?
And guilty pleasure of a franchise I still hold dear. Granted, some of the problems were in the fault of the creator of the X series, KJ Inafune. As Capcom saw an opportunity for themselves to pound money with an ungodly amount of sequels, due to the success of the Classic Series on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Capcom decided it was time for a new code paid for the Nintendo consoles during the 90s for the Super Nintendo. What hasn't been said about the X series? The quality change of the faster paced gameplay compared to its classic counterpart? A serious storytelling, the bosses are more complicated design, and Barton had the change of mood compared to what the Classic series did with their boss master, especially compared to a
Spring Man.
But seriously, in all honesty, what attracted me to the X series in the first place was the boss design. The fact that we're always based on animals with an elemental focus. Their location on the map gives you a little world building on how they have a significant impact on the world in the series. Hell, the reason I even knew of the series was due to fan animation from the Darklands and Newgrounds, Let's Plays such as the Great Comet and Egoraptor Squidilius series. Hot damn, I'm fucking old. Regardless, that doesn't stop me from enjoying the series, even if I haven't played X2 or X3, so I can't wait for a chance to give those a playthrough for the channel. But this is enough about me rambling on about my memories with the series, and let's actually get into it. I will be going off from the endgame story, given briefly in the opening segment. The new Blue Bomber that continues on from the Classic series 100 years in the future. Created by Dr. Light, the same one from the Classic series. A new generation of artificial robot that has its own free will, a heart that shows compassion and care for others. One that can reflect based upon their actions, our hero, Mega Man X. But please know this, and know this well, you're gonna get his emotional drama constantly, and I mean a lot. You might be asking, where does this drama shows itself? Why does this happen? Well, my friend, because a certain man discovered X from his capsule. Dr. Kane, who was interested in X's record and data, decided to create robots just like X, calling the next generation of robots Reploids. Unfortunately, that seems to backfire very quickly. Why? Because they aren't tested for 100 years when the capsules to question morality. And wasn't rule number one of robotics? A robot may not injure a human being or something? Guess Dr. Kane forgot about that lesson. Whoops. Which promptly formed the Maverick Hunters, a group that hunts down the Reploids that went rogue or disturbs the peace of humans. While some blows up the ecosystem doing it for the love of the game or just pushing your grandma down the steps. This is where our hero X comes through for cleanup duty to dispose of the Mavericks. Regardless, X is reported to his duty as there is an attack on the highway. As X continues his fight onto the highway, he meets an unexpected guest that drops from an air fleet, Bubble Fett. Yeah, that's kind of crazy in his glorified riot armor. Well, no, the actual Maverick name is Vile, a replicant that used to be a fallen Maverick hunter along with X to have an everlasting hate for him since the beginning. And you want to know why the reason is? It's because he got more attention. I wish I was joking about that. But hey, what can I say? That's a hand load that even Dio can be proud of. As we continue fighting Vile, he stunned X in that moment, but luckily we had our true glorious king, the man of the hour, Zero, who rescues us from our almost timely demise as Vile couldn't handle the Giga Chat that is Zero. Now, you're scratching your head asking, who is this guy? Why is he able to just one-shot a body armor? Well, friends, this is our friendly neighborhood Red Rebel Zero. That is an S-rank hunter, the best of the best, along with being X's friend, as he started filling in bigger roles in the future entries, as the time is not yet for those explanations. As Zero aura farms, flexing that we can reach the level of greatness as himself one day, by a day literally within 2 or 3 hours of gameplay. We continue our search looking for Sigma's fortress. How do we do that, you ask? If you know the world of Mega Man and the classic series as a whole, then we gotta hunt down the 8 Maverick bosses, the lead of Sigma's forces. Now, if you're like me by any chance, you run into these bosses having personality, uniqueness, or character flair? Yes.
But actually no. In fact,
only in the Maverick Hunter X remake, the first X game that gives a retell of the Mega Man continuity to give it a polished storyline. I will give that game a video dedicated to itself because that one has a lot more going for it, and I feel like I want to give it a proper video for it. So regardless, I will give you my thoughts about these bosses and the stages that it inhabits, just to explain the stages and gameplay, and it will continue the pace for me, explaining the story easier than not, right? As I mentioned, there are 8 Mavericks that needs to be hunted down for us to progress within the game. These are a progression for the game as well to make X stronger, as there are secrets within the maps. Hey, so for anybody who actually got into the video further in, I want to share this real quick. So I have a Twitch stream of me playing Mega Man X1 on the channel by the time this is posted. This is a way for me to let y'all experience my playthrough and story beats. If you ever feel more invested, come follow me on Twitch for when I go live, as this is a way for me to give a real take of my misfortunate situation, as clip shows me dying, failing a lot. Hell, if you ever give me a supercharge on the like and subscribe, as it will help me grow and have YouTube know that I'm still here and alive. Okay, I'll leave y'all alone now, and I will continue my bad explanation on the Mega Man story and stages. See y'all at the end of the video. As we pick our first level of stages for the Mavericks, we pick Chill Penguin, the best level for anyone to start the run off with. It is a semi-arctic level with a few enemy placement to a few Riot Armor units that can be taken out with a charge shot, where you get a full understanding of the game and learn there's more to the levels as we progress. We fight our way further in the level. We come across a capsule halfway in the middle of the level as we see a familiar sight. Dr. Light, who is long gone, has left some capsules and selected stages that contain armor sets for X. Which in-game the armor is called the First Armor, as it was created for X to support him in the future of his battle, or the means to combat stronger enemies that would be a problem for X. So in reality, Dr. Light was like, hey, look X, I know this is crazy, but I love you some power-ups because I'm all-knowing. Shut up and go. And X is kind of like, okay, sure. So it's kind of twisted in a way to think this man kind of had a thought process for this, and you really think about it, he's just like, so he really just came up with this just as a backup plan. Funny, isn't it? As we receive our new limited edition Jordans that give us some great distance quickly, allowing X to slip through enemies' attacks as well. For future games, this luckily becomes a core kit for X in future entries. We continue our way through the level. We arrive at the first boss, Chill Penguin, and he's a simple Maverick in handling, as his attack patterns are easy to follow. As he simply slides on his tummy and releases different ice attacks like statues of himself, and pulling a lever to have it slide in your direction. As we charge shots and play hopscotch with him, we put the Penguin on Chill Commission. We unlock a special weapon for X after defeating the Maverick. X gains the power to use a special move from the bosses, as Zero's voices echoes in our head.
the big boys, we're gonna take care of this, us, the big boys.
To the next stage on the list, we go after Storm Eagle, who runs the Air Force fleet for the Sigma's forces. This stage contains another upgrade for our heart tanks, which upgrades our health bar, to the helmet upgrade that lets X bonks his head and break things above him, the most useless upgrade of all time in the Mega Man series. And lastly, the core essential for any X game or Mega Man game, our handy dandy sub tank that refills from health pickups and can be used to help X in the time of need. Cruising through, we reach Storm Eagle, as he is very fast, but his movements are easy to read as he swoops through the map trying to knock X off the map. Not only that, he will start spitting out his children at you. Yes, I could have phrased that better, but no, he spits out his children. But no matter, we do not care, as we got killed as Maverick. So I start blasting. Bang, bang. defeated and blown up, we're getting the most powerful weapon in X1, the Storm Tornado, that just rips through all enemies and bosses with no problem, easily shredding all in the way, and probably the most used weapon in the game. Our next target here is Flame Mammoth. We arrive here at the factory area where Mammoth stage is frozen over by the defeat of Chill Penguin. There would have been fire hazards that would have damaged and destroyed X we had came here earlier in the game. You might be wondering, Razor, why in particular are you going on these said paths exactly? Well, my friends, I forgot the exact order and weakness.
You what?
There is no other context here. I clearly forgot when I was playing, while I refused to look up a guide and trust my memories instead. But yes, let me explain real quick that defeating certain bosses can affect certain areas of the other levels through your playthrough of the game. There's two that takes notice mostly are Flame Mammoth and Spark Mandrill. There are 3 upgrades, a Buster upgrade that allows us to shoot a level 3 charge shot, which allows us to charge up special weapons to do different effects other than its original intentions. A Celtic and a heart contained within the stage. I'm not going to be explaining everything and where they are in particular, but a general idea of where the items are. If anyone is still investing with finding the items themselves, I feel like you should take the time to do it yourself or look for it blindly, as I feel like this is much more of a reward when you do so. We now move onward facing man himself. That's a big chunky boy that releases a threatening war cry. As Mammoth himself is not difficult, you should still be careful of him hopping around the map. Trying to be a part of the dance crew Stomp the Yard on X's body, he will occasionally leave oil along the ground that releases a flame pillar when he drops fire on it, which is far in between, but still be careful nevertheless. We easily shred him with the Storm Tornado, ending the elephant and obtaining his fire wave ability. We continue our strike towards Sigma's forces as we enter the power station of Spark Mandrill. Well then, it looks like everything is destroyed. You might be wondering. Well, because of the fact we went off track for a bit. If you came here before the Storm Eagle level at any time or place of the game, this place would be filled with electric currents and more of a light source generator for the player to see around the stage. Because we took out Storm Eagle out early, everything is destroyed actually is less of a problem for us to handle in reality, as there are 2 upgrades here, a heart container and an energy tank. Now we must take our electric mandrill out here and drill him down with some delicious ice shots, stun lock him to death, and we push onward with our new power electric spark. But to quickly summarize it, because I just sped through the boss fight because of his weakness, he simply Superman punches and does punches on the ground, then releases electric attacks across the ground and climb on top like a true monkey. We move onward to our next stage, facing Sting Chameleon, as there are heart containers and the body upgrade for X that let him take half damage from enemies. As we journey forward, handling the easy placement of the enemies getting stronger so we can hang out with the
big boys. We're gonna take care of this, us, the big boys.
We arrive handling Sting Chameleon, easily dodging his sneak attacks and his annoying tongue. And no, I won't stop myself from making bad jokes. Ending him and unlocking the Chameleon Sting. Could have been more original with the weapon names, but I digress. As we arrive at the control tower to chase down the next enemy, Boomer Kerwanger, we easily hop up the tower and we'll work our way through the turrets and easily taking care of the beetle. We only have a heart container on this stage. At this point, I should make it easier and say there is a heart container in all stages and very easy to find if you explore in the stages enough. As we arrive at the end of the stage, we get ready to fight Boomer Kerwanger, the beetle himself, as we get rid of our little bug problem. But I will say that you gotta be careful of Kerwanger. Why? Because he simply teleports around the room and tries to grab you and toss you around like a ragdoll. Very dangerous if you're not careful where you're at the time, or you will take some major damage from Boomer. After his defeat, we receive his boomerang and inherit the power of a true Australian. Rolling up next on the list is Armor Armadillo, the fastest roller all around. As this stage takes place within the mine shafts, we ride along in our minecart set around the stage, plowing through the enemies as roadkills as we move smoothly through this level. Reaching the boss room, we prepare ourselves to fight Armor Armadillo himself. If you try to use a charge shot or any type of shots, it will most likely bounce off him, so you use Spark Mandrill's special weapon and strip him of his armor. And this will put him in a stun lock animation in place and we can easily clean house with him. Simple as that, and we can move on forward. Designed to take a nice little trip to the ocean, we go after the last Maverick, Launch Octopus. As we make our way through the ocean, destroying ships and all robotic sea life, we are doing the global ecosystem a favor, am I right? Besides, not like we're causing harm to the people.
Get your big stick here!
As we go through the level, we make our way to Octo, giving him a nice hello to the Storm Tornado, blow him away and easily clean house as we slowly watch him blow up in a glorious blaze of the final victim of our hunting quest. Before we head to the final stage of the game, I want to talk a little bit about the soundtrack of Mega Man X1. Ah yes, I wouldn't be able to stop running my mouth without talking about the peak that is the Mega Man X soundtrack that needs to be credited. Without it, we wouldn't be having such amazing remixes and inspiring talents for the community. I grew up with the Mega Man X soundtrack along with the songs from the Sonic series and a truly, dearly beloved series that would have its own retrospect. Gosh, I'm gonna go into an early grave for it too, but we'll get there when we get there. This was to diverge from the classic Mega Man techno and light beat to the rock music of the X series, if that makes sense. As we must give credit to the composer Tetsuya Yamamoto, Yuki Iwata, Toshihiko Hirayama, Yoko Takahara, Makoto Tomozawa. Each has a development of making 3 songs each from their development, and I apologize if I botched these names by any regard. Now, for my personal favorites for all the X1 soundtrack, my favorites are, yes, I know, very easy. The opening level of the highway, just a straight up banger to get you ready for your new journey. Zero's theme as it increasingly gets better over the year with his appearance within the series as we expand further with his story for our next time. I just can't wait to glaze this man. Not in that context, please. The most iconic between Armadillo and Storm Eagle of the stage levels, where many remixes and fan videos just from those 2 levels alone can just be praised for itself. Just from the energetic set pieces that make you ready to take on threats, or just dive through in a high-speed chase and cause destruction on the highway. By all means, this is a joke. Do not go and cause an actual scene on the highway. Listen to Mega Man X music. Regardless, this is not my favorite Mega Man X soundtrack music, as I actually have a special place for X5 and X6, but when we get there, if I'm not busy with life or, you know, stuff happens, but who knows. And hopefully y'all can be there for me along on the journey. But regardless, let's go to the final stage of the game. We finally reached it. The final level of the game, where we finally evade Sigma's secret base. With Zero on our side, here we put everything to the test: our skills, weapon, and knowledge. As we traverse up the base, we reach the first door of the bosses, as Zero has blessed us with his amazing presence once more, giving us a heads up that Vile's presence is near and we should be careful going ahead. As Zero moves forward ahead, we hear some clashes beyond the door. To see Vile and witness that he has captured Zero himself, running that damn riot armor after we get into a conflict with him. And not only that, we gotta fight him ourselves, and we soon get ourselves caught into the riot armor. In one last ditch effort, Zero self-destruct to weaken Vile from his riot armor. We get into one more fight with Vile, and we put into the Star Wars knockoff, as we now witness our dearest friend Zero dying in our arms, telling us to end the fight with Sigma and carry onward with the battle. As we move now with more determination in our heart, we go to the second level of the Sigma Fortress, as we go through mini bosses and boss rush, where we go against a spider that goes down a track, finding a wall that isn't much of a problem, and the 8 Mavericks again. We fight over again with no problem in this run quickly with our stack out build. You must be wondering why I skipped through this kind of quickly. It's because this is our endurance run, and more so to see how well you can handle yourself against nothing but bosses back to back and progressing through the level. And because we already have our build completely done and have our maxed out level stat with the armor set and the weapons, we should have no problem with this. So this is why I'm kind of going ahead and going to the final area of the game, shall we? As we reach the final area, we're enclosed in this little tight space that we had to climb our way up to reach the final area to encounter Sigma and his dog as he mocks us about Zero's death as he sent his dog with rabies after us. We challenge him with no problem as we use our secret weapon. So you may be wondering, what the hell did I just do? Well, friends, that was the Hadouken. Yes, the Hadouken from Street Fighter, the most iconic move from the games, from Ryu, Ken, Akuma, things like that. And you wonder how the hell X has this ability? Well, my friends, I'm going to explain to you right now. After collecting the armor pieces, the heart tanks, the energy tanks, and defeating all the bosses, at random you will have the chance to go to Armadillo stage, where at random chance a light capsule will spawn at the end of the level. Now the percent chance of this spawning up will be determined randomly, so it will take a couple of tries going through the level once in a while. But after that, you should be able to learn the Hadouken from Dr. Light. As you do the command input for the Hadouken like you do it in Street Fighter, a corner circle forward, which will be your corner circle shoot button, you will release a Hadouken that can one tap, one shot anything in the game, but you gotta have full health to do it. If not, you will not be able to use it at all. Regardless, we move into the second phase of the fight as we encounter our good friend Sigma, who is very fast and zipping across the room on caffeine, never slowing himself down. Ha, as I have something for. Okay, let me just I will say this, and I will say this now. He is very strong and he's very fast. If you're not careful, he will delete your health. And I mean, he will delete it very quickly if you're not on guard. And you use your energy tank, you're gonna have a rough time at his last phase. But because I am trying to get this done quick, I just decided to use the Hadouken on him. Yeah, call me a cheater. I don't care. I'm having fun. As we think we had defeated Sigma, Sigma has one more last surprise for us, known as Wolf Sigma. Now this is the only part where his hitbox is a bit of a janky side, as there are only two ways to handle him. By using a charge shot or using the rolling shield from Armadillo, as he hits hard from the constant claws moving to his assault attacks from his arsenal. And you know, you cannot use the Hadouken. I tried this method and it's not easy to do unless you're a guy at dodging, which I am not. But after a while getting used to his pattern, he's very easy to handle. But with that, we defeated Sigma and the fortress falls apart in a blazing glory. We are now left with X contemplating what to do. How long can he continue with his battle of Replicants against Replicants? Will it come to an end? Only to continue the fight for the people. As we conclude the story, only to see an ending that sends chill to the return of Sigma, as he will never be gone. Okay, we finally made it to the end of the video of the lovely retrospect for our first journey through Mega Man X1. We still have 7 games in the series to go, along with the spin-off games. Now, I know this wasn't the best retrospect, and it took a lot of time to actually get this done, and that's because of real life situation, and I know it's kind of an excuse, but I really do try my best to actually make this video entertaining as possible for most people to come and watch. And it's not really easy to do. But my overall experience with Mega Man X1 was a blast and just makes me cherish the series for better or for worse. This still holds up well for the length and what it has left its mark on in the world of gaming history. I do recommend, if you feel the need to play a good platformer and need to relive some retro fun, do play Mega Man X1. The collection for both goes on sale a lot in digital stores, Capcom Steam sales. Hell, the community is still living and going strong within the shadow of Capcom. If you do make it to the end of the video, I appreciate it, and I appreciate that y'all actually taking the time to watch this video. I know it's not the best, and I'm still working on it, and that's still things that needs to be improved on. If you have any recommendations, like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below. Tell me what needs to be improved on. I know I have a little bit of audio quality, but hey, what can you do? You're working with what you have. And I assume that most of y'all has times to go through as well. And this is mostly me doing a recording auto log at the end of this with no takes, or trying to not make a blunder on myself as this is going off script. But hey, it's a learning process for everybody, and hopefully y'all enjoy. And I'll see y'all next time. If you like my content for gaming to music, we have that all on the channel. This is Loon3yRazor signing off, and I hope y'all have a damn good one.